On today's episode, we were talking about The Flash heading to streaming. Is it going to do better there? We'll see. Then we are going to look at some Ahsoka first reactions. They are fantastic, folks. Really looking forward to talking to you about those. Then heading over to the box office, Oppenheimer, though not the bride, a really hot bridesmaid, making so much money at the box office despite not hitting number one. We'll talk about that trend in movies. And then lastly, we are going to discuss how the Nun actor is suing the studio over some very, very big financial issues. All that and more coming up right now. Friday, everybody, and welcome to this very special episode of the John Campea Show. I always mess it up. The John Campea Show. I'm your host today, Chris Carr. John is over in Palm Springs with Ann, having a nice time. Vacation must be nice. The rest of us schmucks have to work over here, but we're so happy to have you here so we can talk about all kinds of good things, movies, movie news, all sorts of stuff. And I, of course, am not alone. It's most of the Batman Beyond crew today, which is always great. We got Ray Ora.
Hey, what's up? Happy Friday, everyone.
And we've got Jonathan Boyko.
This is mostly coffee.
Mostly. And we're so excited to see how all that pans out with all of you here with us.
It doesn't taste like coffee.
Doesn't smell like coffee.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and of course we've got Europussy over here too.
Riding them flames, baby.
Oh my gosh, in Fast and Furious? Meow. Well done.
Well, I look red in here. You want to know why? Because our air conditioning isn't working great today. So
It's not working great today.
It's
Actually,
not.
I came in and I was like, I'm going to assemble something. And then I started sweating and then I said,
Yeah, I'm assembling my sweat.
yeah, I'm not assembling anything.
It's toasty in here. It
Yeah,
is
it
not
is
great.
toasty.
Hot flashes all around. Speaking of flashes, The Flash.
Oh!
What a segue. Oh, she's a professional. So Flash is heading over to Max on August 25th, which, what a terrible birthday present for me personally. You guys know this. I don't want to beat a dead horse here. I was not a big fan of this movie, but I know a lot of people did enjoy it. It definitely didn't perform, though, as well as people hoped. And I think we all can agree on that part, at least. So now with Blue Beetle at the box office, doing what I think should be pretty good. It brought in 3.3 million in previews, and it's getting great reviews. May there be a second life for The Flash on there? Could there be any hope of this movie doing well? And honestly, where did this movie go wrong for you guys? I know that
You
I
saw
have
it,
a
right,
different view.
Jonathan?
Yeah, personally, look, I enjoyed the film.
Yeah.
I get what people were saying where, like, the babies in the beginning looked really rubbery and fake. At first I thought, oh, that's really bad CGI. But then I realized what they were going for is like, okay, when he's in his Speed Force, everyone looks kind of like rubbery and wonky. But to your point, they should have gone further with it because it looked a little too uncanny. But if they went further with it, maybe give him some vibrations or something like that, then you'd be like, okay, people look weird when he's time dilating or whatever. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's just a CGI kind of like point there. I mean, I enjoyed the film personally. I liked it. It's
I know
one of
I'm
those,
in the minority in this group of
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
liking it.
and I don't fault anyone for not liking it. I'd like to hear like your points on why you didn't. But and I'm not saying it was a perfect movie, but it was just weighed down with a lot of controversy. And frankly, I think even more so than the controversy, DCEU is just no one's showing up. Look at Shazam. There was no controversy with Shazam Part 2, and no one showed up. 133 million?
Yeah.
Oof.
I actually really like the film. I actually think it's my favorite DC movie.
Oh, wow.
Only because I really like the Supergirl in it. It's a different take that I haven't seen. I'm like Mutant Mayhem.
Carl was great.
Yeah. With Mutant Mayhem, a lot of people didn't like because they went off of what's normally the Ninja Turtles, right? I'm actually welcome to that. As long as I don't make it a big deal. I like Supergirl in the movie. I do like the way they play Flash. The actor plays Flash. It's different to me because I watch a lot of the animated series and films. So, and Michael Keaton, of course. He actually put it over the top for me. I love the way they brought him back. I like the movie. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to watch it again, though, which is weird. It's my favorite DC film. But when it goes on to streaming, am I going to watch it again? I don't know.
I might give it one more full watch,
Maybe
but
one
I'm
more.
definitely just going to kind of like Phantom Menace it and just watch the really cool spots.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Phantom Menace being the Darth Maul fight.
It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see the numbers, but also try to, I don't know if they can even figure this out. What numbers are from people who've never seen it and people who have seen it. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that probably watch it that haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not
Of course.
going to do Max any good. I mean, the money that's going into Max is the money that's going into Max, whether it does great or not.
Exactly. I certainly don't think this is going to add to the subscriber base. I don't think that's
No.
going to really move
But
the
you know
needle.
what? It gives me a good idea. It falls on your birthday, right?
It's close. I'm the 28th.
And what day is it? What day is your
So
birthday?
my birthday is the 28th, which is
yeah,
Monday.
but yeah. But what day does it fall on?
August 28th.
No,
Monday.
no, the day.
Monday.
The day. Oh, Monday.
Yeah. I'm
We
not
should
here.
have a flash party for Chris.
Oh my
Flash
gosh.
party.
Do it on the 28th when it's my day off.
Just make sure you got the right flash.
Wow, I'm going to put in so much work and you're not going to be here.
No, don't do that.
I'm going to make a flash cake.
We're going to
be
make a flash
universal.
party, and Rob's going to walk in and be like, hello, what's going on here?
Well, I heard we're having a flash party. Hey,
So
kid, how's it
trench.
going?
I came in my trench coat.
And then Ray's going to be like, no, a trench. No. We have though seen a lot of movies get that second life on streaming where an audience finds it. But I think to your point, Jonathan, too, is even if people did like this movie, which again, I'm in the minority in this room. For me, I just wish they leaned more into that humor that Barry had every now and then. I loved when things got weird. I loved when there was like the conversation about time travel with the roommates. I thought that was so fun, and I wish we got more of that. And I wish they let it just be a weird, funny kind of buddy cop movie almost, instead of this pressure that it felt the studio put on it
Yeah.
of this is the best movie ever, this is the heart of DC, all these things that everyone kept saying, the executives kept saying, because it just put too much pressure on what the movie should have been instead of what it is.
A lighter
Here's-
movie.
Here's a
Yeah.
big secret for you. The most disappointing thing that happened at CinemaCon was when Logan said it was okay, right? What'd he say?
He is,
Because me and Logan is Chris's husband,
When,
fiance.
when the guy who loves Crystal Skull says a movie's okay, you better run.
and
yeah.
you know what's
well,
funny?
you two are very in tune about your
Yeah,
movie
we
taste.
are so in sync. And when we came out of that theater and we weren't, my heart was broken a little bit. I was like, Logan,
You could hear glass break.
I'm actually looking forward to watching Crystal Skull the first time because Logan likes it. And I'm still going to watch it because Logan likes it.
Okay.
I feel
Here's
we
a-
are this.
Here's an interesting thing about that. You might actually like Crystal Skull,
I
and
think
this
I
is
will.
why, because he has no nostalgia for the other films.
This is very true.
So I actually want you to watch it, and I would love to hear from someone who has no well, okay, you saw the latest one.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
And
but
that's my
no
favorite
nostalgia
one.
for at least the first three. Okay? What I want a full review on Crystal Skull from you, mister.
You know,
Heck yes.
that last one is my favorite one that I bought the action figure of old
Of
Harrison
old
Ford.
Indy?
This is old man Harrison Ford right here.
You didn't
Right here.
drink the blood of Kali.
I think that's a fun way to watch it, though. Just go backwards with the indie films and see how you feel about them.
Right.
I love it. Great. Well, guys, the question's up for you, though. Do you think having The Flash go to streaming is going to move the needle for some audiences? Are more people going to find this movie, fall in love with it? Is it going to get that second life? Or is this already just kind of dead on arrival? Let us know your opinions and why, right? I let you know why I'm not crazy about this movie. I'd love to hear why you guys aren't or why you love it. Let me know all about that in the comments below if you are on YouTube, because we have a YouTube version of this too, you guys. You can do that, all right? Wonderful. Moving on, a little happier news of something that is getting great reviews. Ahsoka. So the first preview of Ahsoka was last night, and people are seeming to really, really love this, which is fantastic because Star Wars could use some wins, I think. So, first reactions to Star Wars Ahsoka are here, and oh my goodness, people are calling it epic. They are saying it's a wonderful kind of spiritual sequel to Rebels. Let's see what we got here from Jermaine Lucier. I think Ahsoka has a lot of potential. As a Rebels fan, I felt a connection to it that was truly special. And yet, it's hugely epic at some times, and oddly flat at others. Sabine is the standout, though, and by episode 2, I was fully sucked in. It could go south, but I don't think it will. All right, so a little cautiously optimistic here. All right, from Jazz 10K. Just saw the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. Great score and loved all the visuals, especially the fight scenes. Adore Kevin Kiner's score. This makes me want to revisit Clone Wars. And yes, Rosario Dawson is great. Looking forward to the rest of the series.
Yes, I'm looking forward to the score
Now,
too.
did they only watch? Do we know? Is it only?
It's only 2.
It's just the first 2
So
episodes.
this
But
is,
2, that still gives me hope because it was just 1. Okay.
Yeah, 2 makes me feel a little better about
but
this.
let's remember, we did a story this week that the 3rd episode is only 35 minutes long.
Yeah, but it's going to be
That's true.
so good. Such a good 35 minutes.
I'm hoping it's just an action-packed 35. From Eric Goldman, a promising start for Ahsoka with many cool story elements that expand the Star Wars universe and feel different from Mando. Episode 1 has some slow moments involving a MacGuffin, but episode 2 really gels. Sabine is a standout. I think those meeting her for the first time will really dig her.
See, I like his comments that it expands the universe.
Yes.
Because that's been an issue before where everyone's just like, everyone knows each other.
Yeah, we've talked about this so much on the show, is that Star Wars has this kind of almost Dickensian approach to things where every character is connected somehow.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that. I can suspend my disbelief so much. This is a galaxy far, far away. There are aliens. There are different types of cultures. There are laser light weapons. If it's a galaxy, I need you to have some strangers.
It's essentially the same as like, oh, you're from the Star Wars galaxy? Do you know my friend Luke Skywalker?
Exactly.
It's like, yo, dude, there's trillions of beings. Yeah, but you must have run into them.
Yeah, it's not like being from Spring, Texas, right? Where you're like, you probably know my cousin. Different planetary systems, y'all. I need some
I
space.
might. I might be your cousin.
And you're
Pretty much. Well, and because in Star Wars that happens. Oh, shit, you're my sister. Oh, small galaxy. Well, do these reactions make you guys feel excited about the show? Cautiously optimistic? Are you still not interested in it? Because I don't know how you guys feel about Ahsoka, really.
Jonathan, you watched Clone Wars, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think from that?
Well, this isn't so much Clone Wars. Forget Clone Wars. This is more
I'm
like
not Clone Wars, Rebels. I'm sorry.
I loved Rebels. I'm with John on. I think it's one of the best animated series Star Wars has done.
It's really good.
I haven't seen it, so this is my first dig.
I think you're gonna love the crew, man, because you like team situations, and that whole crew is dope. I mean, it's missing a couple now.
I'm gonna probably this is probably the end of my whole YouTube thing, whatever, by saying this. But
You're retiring today?
No.
Oh.
I have bought Star Wars stuff mainly from the way people look.
Uh-huh.
I bought
I
bought a
it looks
bunch of
cool
Sabine
displayed.
stuff because I thought she looked cool.
She does.
Yeah.
And
But I
a lot
think
of
you're
people
gonna
are like, then okay, I'm a shill now. I'm a shill.
but now, because you like it for display, but now you're gonna have some personality behind. You're gonna like those. I think you personally, you're gonna like the Sabine stuff you've bought.
I was
Look,
going to
look,
say, Sabine's story is going to be really, really cool for you.
Here's one thing I could say about what I know about Ahsoka so far. Every time she's cameoed or whatever appeared in any series, I myself have felt really safe. Like nothing was going to go wrong as long as she was around.
Yeah, I mean,
She seems like a really a person you could be confident in if you're going with her somewhere.
Yeah, she's
on
dope.
a journey.
I mean, her powers are.
She seems
good.
so unfazable. Like you'll not see a concerned look on her face ever. She knows everything. She seems so wise. I can't wait to dive into this character. Let's get these 2 episodes. Why don't I have the 2 episodes? All these people watching 2 episodes. Why can't we watch them? We're right here. We always talk about you guys. Come on, send us the episodes.
I want
like-
our credentials.
I like this one from Brian Davids where he says, I enjoyed the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka, and the best part about it was it's focused on telling one grand story. And I think too often they don't have one grand story, so we get thrown off to these other little side things where it's not like you can say, oh, but it all ties together like Game of Thrones did. It's like they're just wasting our time. They're giving us filler.
That's very true.
And I know it's just 2 episodes, but as long as they keep their focus. You did ask at the top of this what our feelings were, besides just my fandom of Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I loved Andor. Actually, I want to go back and now binge it all like back front to end now. Yeah. But I wasn't huge on Obi-Wan. I mean, it looked good, except for when they were in a volume stage, and it's just like 10 soldiers shooting at 10 soldiers. And it's like, how are any of you missing?
Yeah.
And it's like, and the storytelling was kind of weak. So I'm hoping this leans more towards a Mandalorian style of storytelling and maybe even takes a little bit of its time like Andor. I know it's not going to be like Andor because it's a different director, different showrunner. I get that. But I'm just hoping this is at least like Mandalorian.
And let's not forget Ray Stevenson. He's in this. This is probably one of his last.
The villains look.
He looks good.
The villains look like they are a force to do.
Wait, we don't know he's a villain yet, right? We don't know if he's a villain.
Okay,
yet.
let's just call him an antagonist because right now he's antagonistic in the.
I can't wait to see him in this.
We don't know if there's a turn. We don't know the story.
Well, and that's a really interesting thing to bring up too, because Rey feeling safe with Ahsoka and everything, and not knowing as much about the backstory since you didn't watch those cartoons. She's somebody who a lot of times people will kind of posture that she's a gray Jedi. or she just lives in this more kind of in-between area.
Or she doesn't live between
because
with the
she
rules.
really questions a lot of what the Jedi Order
Yeah.
does and what the Sith
yeah.
And
does.
actually, that could be some complex storytelling because
Yeah.
Ray Stevenson's character too. He says he's not a Sith,
Yep.
yet he bled his blade. So it's like he's in the gray zone, but he's like he's like center like not rebellion. She's center rebellion. He's center imperial.
Yeah.
I guess would be.
Yeah.
So like they lean, but like they're not Sith or I guess a rebel. It wouldn't be rebel. What is it?
Or Jedi.
New Republic, I
Yeah,
should say.
yeah.
Like New Republic, but yeah.
So it has the potential to tell some really, really cool stories here. And unlike some of the other things like Obi-Wan 2, in a prequel situation, which theoretically this still is, right? Because it's taking place between different movies that we know the end outcome and we know what happens to the galaxy. Obi-Wan, it could have been this really great character study that ultimately shows us why he sticks around watching Luke. But some of the choices they made ended up being a little odd just because it was, well, I know Luke Skywalker's not going to get killed by this lady. Like, I know that Leia's going to make it. Let's change it up. With these people and this crew in particular, we don't know what happened to them. We have no idea. And their story did feel a little tertiary, though tied in to like everything that's happening in the galaxy. It does feel removed from the whole epic Jedi family battle that's going on as the main through line for Star Wars. So I think this should be a really cool exploration of what else is going on. And hopefully they stick the landing because, man, a lot of these shows on Disney Plus, you get to episode 7 or 8 and woof.
One question for you guys that you've seen Rebels. Rebels, obviously, the name itself, it's focused on the group, but was there really a main character from that show? Was
Ezra.
it that Ezra?
Ezra.
It was it was really based on his
It was
character.
really based around Ezra, and, in my opinion, Ezra and Kanan's development.
Yes, yeah.
And then everyone else.
Kanan, I forgot about that character.
Yeah.
Have we seen him in the trailer at all?
No, and you won't. I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't think so.
Okay, I just don't. You
there
don't have
are
to say anymore.
ways,
You don't
but
have
yes.
to say anymore. But I know Kanan because of Freddie Prinze. I know.
Right.
Yeah, Freddie
Right.
Prinze Jr. kills it.
Yeah.
You'd really like Ezra too. The whole crew. I highly recommend revisiting Rebels.
You know,
And
yeah, and you know what was good about that, just real quick, is that the voice actors were like huge proponents of the show itself. They weren't just there playing a role; like they loved the lore.
they're
When you talk to
mega
them,
fans,
they were
yeah.
like yeah.
Which I love. I love when people are super invested in the stories. It's great. Well, guys, let us know. Are you excited about these first reviews, these first looks at Ahsoka? Let us know if it's moved the needle at all for you, or if you're still a little skeptical about this latest Disney Plus show. All right, guys, we have so much more to get to. But before we do, we are going to take a quick break, and we're going to hear from the folks over at Rocket Money and MasterClass. Check them out.
Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Rocket Money. Did you know that the average person has around 12 paid subscriptions and they might not even remember to subscribing to half of those? If you have no idea just how much you're spending each month, you need Rocket Money. It's this great app that tracks all of your expenses so you know exactly where your money is going. I recently just found out that over 80% of people have subscriptions that they've completely forgotten about. Seriously, think about how many free trials you subscribe to that you just probably never canceled. And that's why I'm such a big fan of Rocket Money, because I was one of those people. When I signed up to Rocket Money, I was stunned to find out that a gym I had belonged to in another city I lived in, I had still been paying my dues to for over 2 years. Also, that music subscription service I use, I forgot I was subscribed to 2 other ones. That's where Rocket Money comes in, because Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. With over 3 million users and counting, Rocket Money customers have saved on average of $720 a year. So stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and manage your money the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/Campea. That's rocketmoney.com/Campea. rocketmoney.com/Campea. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of this video, MasterClass. Guys, as a small business owner, I am finding myself having to be in negotiations all the time, whether it's with new contractors, vendors, or even agencies that represent our company. Now, I don't like to go into these negotiations unarmed, so I found the perfect class on MasterClass, The Art of Negotiation by Chris Voss, a real-life former FBI lead hostage negotiator. Taking this class on MasterClass made me feel a lot more equipped and confident going into all these various negotiations I have to do on a regular basis. With MasterClass, you can learn from the best to become your best anytime, anywhere, and at your own pace. An annual membership starts at just $10 a month, and you get unlimited access to every instructor, thousands of online lessons, exclusive content, insight, and much more. There are over 180 classes to pick from, everything from filmmaking with Martin Scorsese all the way to cooking with the great Gordon Ramsay. In MasterClass, you will find practical lessons that you can apply to your life and work. So guys, get unlimited access to every class, and right now, as a John Campea Show listener, you can get 15% off when you go to masterclass.com/Campea. That's masterclass.com/Campea for 15% off an annual membership. masterclass.com/Campea.
And thank you to Rocket Money and MasterClass for making this episode possible. You guys, MasterClass is truly fantastic. I actually use it. If you watch the show regularly, you know it's how I learned how to debone a whole chicken. And I feel so freaking cool because of it. Culinary monster over here. Well, with that down, guys, let's talk about the box office a little bit. Oppenheimer, which has seen an incredible amount of success at the box office, riding that Barbie wave, enjoying the riches of Barbenheimer. It is now officially the highest grossing film of all time to not hit number one, which is pretty outstanding. This is a new milestone for U.S. theatrical releases, and I think this is a lot more money than people thought this movie was going to make. Because when you think about a historical film focusing not on actual scenes of war, but the science and mathematics behind creating a weapon, that might not seem like the most get butts in seats kind of topic for people. But this is a powerful, powerful film that I'm so glad people are watching. But I do think that it's making a lot more than people anticipated. Now, this puts it in a pretty interesting list of other films that have never made it to number one, but have raked it in at the box office as well. This includes movies like Sing from Universal Pictures. I'm obsessed with this movie. I don't care that it's a jukebox musical. I love it so much.
I've heard it was really good, actually.
It's so cute. It's wonderful. My Big Fat Greek Wedding is in there.
I haven't seen that either.
Oh,
wow,
that's a
man.
great one. Oh,
I'm
my
sorry.
goodness. No, you're so lucky you haven't seen it.
Oh,
it's really
man.
cute.
Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Squeakquel.
The Squeakquel is in there.
What?
Which is
Dude,
wild to me.
Do you remember when Schnepp used to do the shit rat thing?
Oh,
that was from the
yeah.
Squeakquel.
Okay.
Then Alvin the Chipmunks, the original one.
All right.
A Star is Born from Warner Brothers. Sherlock Holmes, also from WB. Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. World War Z. And lastly in that top 10, Ice Age, Dawn of the
A lot
Dinosaurs.
of animated and a lot of like kids movies.
A
So
lot
I'm
of
guessing
that.
counter programming.
That's what I
know?
think. I think that's kind of the takeaway we can see here is what else is playing at the box office that I can go see? Maybe as my second choice.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does that ring true for you guys?
I haven't seen any of these movies except for Austin Powers. I was hoping the same thing would happen with Mutant Mayhem, where people would look for that counter programming, and it would get some love from that. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at its box office, but you know what? Sometimes people don't like the big thing and they just want to watch the second big thing. I mean, Oppenheimer is my favorite movie of the year so far. I'm glad it's making all the
Yeah.
money.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, it's going up against Barbie, which is a steamroller right now. I just call it the steamrolling queen of the movies right now.
Yeah.
It's just running over everything. When the new bug comes out of the wall, it's going under that steamroller. It's just, yes, when we went to Blue Beetle, we saw some girl dressed in all pink. It's still going.
Dude,
it's still going.
Remember how we said Blue Beetle was going to unseat Barbie this weekend? I kind of feel like it might not.
It might.
Kinda feel like it might not.
But it's not going to be like landslide.
No, but I think it'll be close, but it might not.
Yeah.
I keep talking about it every time over the weekend. I go by my movie theater in my neighborhood. It is tons of groups of people clad in all pink, ready to go see that movie because it is that event kind of movie.
And unfortunately for Oppenheimer, it's, for me at least, my favorite movie of the year. It's a one-time watch for me. That's enough. It's already still sunken in. I still think about some of the scenes I saw. That's one of those movies. Barbie seems like more of the movie that you go and watch again And again, that's why it's killing it.
It's got a really
Oppenheimer,
high
I think
watch
everyone needs to at least see once, whether you like the subject matter or not. It's just one of it's a part of history.
Yeah,
it's a part of the world history.
I agree. I'm tempted to still see it because it's still playing in the IMAX digital. I saw it in 70 millimeter, but I want to see it on the big IMAX now.
Yep,
I was
that's
going
the
to
only
bring
way I'll
that
see
up because of the popularity of seeing it in the correct format. I do think that also is helping with that leg kind of situation for Oppenheimer as well. Well, I saw that movie, but I gotta go make sure I see it on this particular IMAX in this particular format.
Yes,
but unlike all of these others, you didn't have Barbenheimer. You didn't have Singenheimer. You didn't have Squeakleheimer. You had Barbenheimer. So it did benefit from that craze, at least at first. And I mean, look, we're sitting at like, it's pushing like, here, let me see if I can shrink this down here. It's sitting at 657. It's pushing 660 million. That's nothing to scoff at.
Yeah.
You know?
It's well deserving, too.
That is very, very good.
Very,
that is
very
awesome.
well deserving, despite some of the controversy that we had like recently. But this, with
The Barbenheimer kind of push and being insensitive.
you know what? Like, this is not a Michael Bay film where it's like, oh, it's all about the thing.
This didn't glorify.
This is about the people.
Yeah, it was about the people
drama,
there behind it, and
the decisions they had to make was so intense in itself,
and the political fallout.
Yeah, the political fallout, the interactions with each other, where you think, oh, they're on the same page, but when it became like an ethical thing, that's where you saw where people lied. It's just all that makes. It's just a human the exploration of the human feelings and towards things and what we do to. I actually felt disgusting afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Like I felt, how could we do this to each other? I don't care what land you're from, what language you speak, what race, whatever, what color of your skin. Why do we do this to each other? We should all just be like living off like what we can off of life, right?
Yeah.
It's like one of those things that you question. So everyone should go see it, I think.
Well,
Exactly.
That's the main thing.
and the ramifications of it, right? Because you had that when I guess a bit of a. I won't spoil it.
I mean,
but
it's history.
But that conversation where it revealed why Einstein had that look on his face.
Yes.
It's like, oh, we thought we were going to burn up the atmosphere, and it's like, I think we have.
Yep.
Metaphorically, because we are living in this today.
Exactly. It's a kind of jokey thing that gets taken from Jurassic Park a lot, is that whole you were so preoccupied with you didn't
Yeah,
think about
should you?
And this makes you look at that question very seriously, especially the third act of this film that talks about those ethical ramifications like you brought up,
Right.
And once you personalize this and go, oh, this affects people, we should never use this. Or I guess maybe if we use it once, then it'll never happen again, which obviously is not the case here. It makes you ask a lot of hard questions. It's such a good movie to see and have a discussion with folks. I saw it by myself. I went and saw it by myself during a matinee. I'm doing the artist's way right now.
Oh, yeah.
So I go on little like artist dates where you just go do something by yourself to be creative. And I'm really glad I went and saw it by myself so I could just kind of sit with that movie and then go have a discussion with some other people who had seen it to talk about everything. Because it also does gloss over that whole part in New Mexico of just like, oh yeah, it's fine. We're good to go. There's barely anyone here.
Oh yeah, I mean, people were dying
were
of cancer left and
displaced.
right.
Oh, I didn't.
Hispanic
Not just
communities-
displaced, but they were losing their lives from
Their
the radiation.
livestock were slaughtered.
Yeah.
It was rough. So it does gloss over some things, but it does a great job of talking about just the atrocities of war. And
or just even proving dominance over some people. Like,
Yeah.
like it's like a fear. It was like a fear. Everything was based on fear in this movie. Like fear of someone doing something before us. When we don't even know. I don't want to get into it, but everyone should see it just because it asks everyone questions about what they feel about decisions that are made. Why do we do it? Do we even have to do it? Why don't we just live our own lives and just be happy? You know what I mean? We don't have to take anyone else's lives to actually be happy, right? So, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of questions that I think people can answer for themselves. I felt gross after watching it, but at the same time, it's my favorite movie of the year. It deserves all the money it makes. Hats off to Christopher Nolan. When we saw him at CinemaCon, I could smell him from our fifth row all the way in the back. looked like he smelled good. He's like a god. He's like a god to me. When he came out, I never thought I'd see Christopher Nolan in person.
What did he smell like to you?
Huh?
What did he smell like?
I don't know. Probably like what's my favorite cologne right now? I can't even pronounce it. It's La Home, something like that. I don't know but he looked like he smelled good. I mean, when he came out,
he's a put together fella.
That's
he's
the only
put
time I
together.
didn't say Turtle Power at CinemaCon. Because anytime anyone came out, I yelled out Turtle Power because I was so excited for man. I let that man speak. I said, shh, quiet.
To himself.
This man is talking.
They're like, Ray, you're talking out loud.
Yeah, I know.
Well, guys,
I love this guy. That's why.
Let us know how you feel about Oppenheimer's success at the box office. Do you think there is a trend that we can spot here? Is there a reason we can pinpoint why it's doing so well? Let us know your thoughts there. Now, speaking of CinemaCon, one of the things that you and I did yell at out together was when that Nun 2 presentation was done, where the lights went out and they came back up and there were nuns everywhere, and you and I both went, nope, no.
Yeah.
I am so scared of these previews alone. So spooky, so horrifying. Oh my goodness, just the aesthetic of the nun gives me chills. And that look is really iconic. And that is a point of contention right now because the actress who plays the nun, it turns out, is not getting properly compensated for use of their likeness, which is pretty wild. Now, this is nothing new, guys. Obviously, there's a strike going on between writers and actors about
As if there's a
financial.
strike.
Yeah. We got a lot of issues with studios not paying money, but we've got this specific lawsuit happening now. Now, this comes to us from our friends over at Screen Rant. We've got am I on a different one than you? No, there we go. Aaron's complaint, and this is Bonnie Aaron's, by the way. Aaron's complaint claims that between 2019 and 2022, Warner Brothers sent her written statements showing her share of revenue, which she alleges was between 2019 and 2022, written statements sent by Warner Brothers, were inconsistent with the extensive merchandising activities. When asked for elaboration, the studio sent a spreadsheet that contained line items corresponding to only a fraction of the known licenses. Now, this complaint goes on to say that instead of accounting and paying in a transparent fashion, Warner Brothers obscures and hides the true amount of Ms. Aaron's rightful share of merchandising revenues, all while continuing to exploit her. Now, obviously, I want to just be completely upfront at the beginning here. I am going to be hella biased about this. I am an actor. I'm a member of SAG-AFTRA. We have a lot of issues with transparency and financing from studios right now. Warner Brothers being a big one of those studios who we're having some serious issues with. David Zaslav. I haven't loved all your statements, David. Haven't loved them. That's just me personally. That does not reflect the views of this show. That just reflects the views of Chris Carr. When we hear about this likeness usage, though, this also ties into so many of the other things that the strike is about right now. Using digital likenesses of actors without their consent, replicating performances without their consent. Now, when it comes to actually licensing someone's look, this is why actors need to stay away from things in their contracts that say things like in perpetuity. Okay? You see that in a contract, you cross that out. Sam Jackson actually had a great interview in The Hollywood Reporter talking about this, of get rid of those things. Do not sign those over. Because likenesses need to be paid for. There's also precedence for this. So Amy Adams played Princess Giselle in the Enchanted movies, right? She was going to be at Disney parks, but that likeness would be paid out to Amy Adams then. They would have to pay for her likeness because the princess is based entirely on her and her own physical features.
Right.
That is exactly what they would have to base everything off of. That's who they're going with. Now, this is a little different than some of the Marvel characters, right? Where you are paying for likeness, but those licenses are through Stan Lee and Marvel and those sorts of things, right? So you do have precedence for paying for a likeness. Now, I don't know who's running out and buying all this nun merchandise because it ain't me. But good for you if you're getting it. But, I mean, the question here, though, is it reasonable for her to have access to how much is being sold, at what price, and should she be getting a cut of that? What do you guys think of everything?
I
with this story?
bought one nun figure because it looks so cool. But now that I see the actress and I see the actual character, she should be getting money. I mean, it's molded after her her facial features. And this is not a way to say anything, but it does. You could see her in the actual nun.
That's her behind those prosthetics and those sharp teeth.
And honestly, when I bought that figure, if they said, "Hey, you want to give some of the what you're paying to the actress," I would be like, "Yeah, for sure, no question, no doubt." I don't know how these things work. I think if it was a generic look and if it was plopped on makeup that had nothing, you couldn't even see her in it, I would feel differently. Only because I'm not in this business, and what you know, I don't know. But you could see her in this character. So for me, if there's an option when I bought this figure to pay her, I would be like, either give her some of it or all of it. I don't care. It's her.
Well, the
You know what I mean?
the technology today on action figures for molds, right? Like if you look at the Star Wars toys, you're like, I guess that's Harrison Ford.
Yeah,
If you're looking
some
at
of
like a
them are pretty
1977
bad.
action figure,
Yeah.
Right.
but these today, I mean, they are like sculpted
It's a full body
minutely to
scan.
look, yeah, exactly the
They
same.
do all those different pictures of you all at once. That's the technical way of doing it. T.
Yeah.
Do you think some of it is maybe laziness? Because, you know, there is a toy company that makes these things. There is a lot of business. They actually have to sign with that. And then you have to go with, oh, now we have to go back to the actress and see if she's okay. Is there just a lot of things that they have to do where they're like, let's not have to go through that. We'll just whatever. Is there anything that has to do with that? I don't know.
It certainly could be a lazy thing. My personal opinion, and again, my personal bias. I am not a reporter, you guys, so that's why I just want to always state that this is all my opinions based on my own experience in this industry. Is I do think it comes down to greed. I really think that's what it comes down to. Is, hey, if there's a way of me not paying an employee, I'm going to take that opportunity to not pay that employee, which is a bummer. And I don't think every studio executive is like that. I don't think every employer is like that. But when you hear stories like this, that is my knee-jerk reaction is, oh, you wanted to keep that for yourself. Right. Because according to the contract she had with Warner Brothers, she was on a fixed compensation. So she got a flat rate of $71,000 for the original contract of The Nun, with a bonus based on box office performance. And all of those things were paid out to her. So she got that money for the film. However, there was also a prorated share of 5% of 50% of the gross receipts for licensing of her face on merchandise. And that's where things are starting to get a little hinky on this of, but how much are you actually selling?
Mm-hmm. You know what's funny? I bring this up, and I didn't read anything about it. I should have. I should be more informative. But
no worries. You were making graphics, man.
But there's the when No Way Home came out, there's a big resurgence of the 3 Spider-Men coming into like action figure form again. For a long time, Andrew Garfield's face has been shown in prototypes, but when the product came out, it didn't come with it. There's been a couple, everyone, like I know in the Spider-Man community, like action figures, they've been wanting this Andrew Garfield head sculpt for a long time. And I have some weird feeling that has something to do with something like this, where he's like the licensing of his likeness. They're not passing through a step that needs to happen in order to get that out, because we still don't have an Andrew Garfield head sculpt.
But he
might have more rights to it than
he has agents and managers and a team of lawyers who are like looking out for that. And not that she doesn't have an agent and even a manager probably, but when you're on one level, right, of exposure like Andrew Garfield or above, and you're on her level who makes $70,000 for her appearance in the movie, your resources are very limited onto what you can afford to, you know.
And trust me, when those licenses get a little bit too expensive, the toy company, they need to make money too. Don't skip on it. We don't need that. But the Nun is a main character of. There's only one Nun. There's no other nuns that you could base it off of.
Yeah.
So they have to sign these. So it's just another thing that Warner Brothers needs to address. If they have to pay that license to the toy company, or they have to charge more, this and that, then you have to do it if they're using her likeness. I believe she should get paid.
Well, if nothing else, even if they can show that they're right, okay. But then what this will do is it'll force, forensic accountants. Maybe not so much to forensic accountants because that's looking for a crime, but it's going to enroll a lot of accountants to look in. These documents will be probably subpoenaed.
Yes.
And then they're going to peruse through and they're going to make what's what of the numbers, you know, and then let chips slide where they may. So
Right.
Exactly. Oof. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of
Wait,
upsetting things to
one
me.
more,
Yeah?
one more point. What if they like change the nun face a little bit in the figures where it doesn't look like her? Then what do we think about that?
I mean, if it's
then
not,
then it's not an issue.
it's not her
if
likeness.
it's not
It's
her
not an issue
likeness,
anymore,
then
right?
that would be the
It's just the fact that
argument.
they're using her likeness
Yeah.
from the movie.
Yeah, I
like,
mean-
one for one.
Yes.
So like, let's say I'm bringing up this pop here on your image. You know, that's a pop based. That could be any actress. That's
Yeah.
she's
Right,
not
right,
going
right.
to get anything for that.
Right.
But
No one's gonna
With-
buy it, an
with-
actual action figure,
with-
if it doesn't look like it.
with the sculpted stuff where it is your likeness.
Yeah. Where it's
You know?
absolutely you
Yeah,
and there's
okay.
no denying it. And, you know, I would be remiss if I didn't use the words of RMB here is you don't get what you deserve, you get
Yeah.
what you negotiate. The bigger issue here, though, is that she did negotiate.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's the point. That's why I brought up the idea of the accountants because
Yeah.
now they have to actually look through the numbers.
Exactly. And
Right.
that, again, I know I'm a broken record, guys, but it goes back to the points of the strike. Transparency. I had someone write to me the other day of, hey, wouldn't it be bad if people saw some of these advertising numbers because then they'd know a show isn't doing well and that isn't getting that many views? That's not bad. That's fair. If my show that I'm on is not getting a lot of eyeballs on it, then yeah, I get residuals based on those views and based on the ad revenue it brings in. Fair is fair. If my show isn't doing well, I shouldn't get more money because I just think you should give me more money. I would love if life worked that way. If I just got to run around being like, I'm great, money please. If I just got to go full Saperstein. But a lot of these companies just aren't offering that transparency, and
Right.
we need that. And also just to put it out there before I see this comment section too, a lot of you are going to say, oh my gosh, she made $70,000 for doing one movie and bonuses and this, that, or the other. When you are doing these films, you cannot do anything else. So we're going to take that into consideration. She can't do any other work.
Right.
A lot of times you are paying for your own lodging. If you don't live where you're going, the studio doesn't always put you up. Sometimes they do, but not always. And you usually get a small per diem, but that doesn't cover everything. And then she does have to pay, like Jonathan brought up, these managers, these agents, these lawyers.
And that's pre-tax.
Exactly. And all of those people are getting at least 10% of her income. So I do want to just put that out there once again for just kind of framing how payment does work for actors. Any actor booking a role took a village to make it happen, and that village gets paid out. So just want to make sure we're all covered on that too. But guys, it's up to you though. What do you think about this whole situation here? Is this much ado about nothing? Do you think that this nun needs to get her nickel? You let us know what you think about that. Now, we have got some amazing member questions coming around the corner. You can become a member too. Head on over to our YouTube page, get a part of the community, hang out with us, ask us questions. But before we get to all of those, we are going to take another quick break to hear from the sponsor of this show who makes it all happen, Mint Mobile.
Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Mint Mobile. Signing your life away to a big wireless provider is kind of like being trapped on a roller coaster from hell. Sure, it looks like fun at first. They probably even threw in a free phone, but now you can't get off. Month after month of insane bills and unexpected thrills, like overages and surprise fees. If that sounds like your current big wireless plan, it's time to get off the ride with Mint Mobile. For a limited time, wireless plans from Mint Mobile are just $15 a month. That's unlimited talk, text, and data for just $15 a month. You guys know before I came to Mint Mobile, I was paying triple what I am paying now on the standard big wireless plan, and I will never go back. All plans come with unlimited talk, text, and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. To get your new unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped right to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea.
And thank you so much to Mint Mobile. That little fox is adorable. I love him. Ah, wonderful. Well, now let's get over to our member questions. Jonathan, what do we have?
All right. Up first is Red One Real Talk, who says, Happy Friday. I was thinking about Bong Joon-ho the other day after rewatching Parasite, and it looks like he's working on a sci-fi movie with Robert Pattinson. Batman, boy!
Oh yeah, he is.
And Steven Yeun, Mickey 17
Yes.
next year. Have y'all heard of this? I'm itching to see any teaser drop online.
Oh, I haven't heard of this. Have you guys?
It's based off a novel, Mickey 7, I believe. It's about It's a space movie from what
Okay.
I know, and
Wonderful.
Robert Pattinson's play. I'm not sure if he gets lost. I'm not gonna say anything because I'm gonna be completely wrong because we reported on this a while ago, but I am looking forward to this movie. I haven't seen enough of this director, even though he's won like what, an Oscar.
Yeah, for
I
Parasite.
still want to see Parasite. That's on my list. I still have to see it. I'm all in. From what I remember of the synopsis, I'm all in. That's all I can say. I don't want to try to remember what it's about. It might be a guy that gets stranded or something. Or
There is a
lost.
trailer here, but yeah.
Is there a trailer?
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
Are you sure it's real?
No, it's off IMDb.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm excited. Oh, it's Mickey 17. It is
Yeah.
17. I thought it was Mickey 7.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm excited for it.
I'm stoked.
Plot. It says plot under wraps.
Yeah.
So we don't
Okay.
know.
I
But
mean,
it's based off a novel.
I was
for
going to
sure.
say, Boone, Robert, and Steven, I'm in for that. I love Steven Yeun. I think he is such a great actor. I finally started watching Beef. Because before I was like, I don't think I'm in the right mindset to watch this very angry show. Because
I
a couple
haven't
friends
finished
told me
it
not
yet.
to.
I haven't finished it yet.
I
I got
really
through the
like
first
it.
15 minutes and I was like, I'm getting a little tense.
Yeah.
And I had to turn it off.
I can't binge it. I've been doing little increments.
But
and
you,
then-
but it's worth
But I
going
like it.
watching
Yeah.
though.
I
You're,
really
you're
like it.
continuing to watch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's so amazing. Ali Wong is so amazing too. But man, Steven Yeun, I want to see more of him. Love
I
him.
think you know what? I'm gonna watch that today when I get home. Beef.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to
More
finish
of
the
it.
first episode at least.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So up next we got Alan. Happy Friday again, Campea Crew. I'm seeing Frozen musical tomorrow. I don't think it will be as good as The Lion King, but it should be fun. What are your favorite musicals?
Oh my gosh.
Is this
Boys,
Broadway? He's
what
talking
are,
about like
I'm
a live-
guessing he means by. I'm guessing he's
Stage
talking about
shows?
stage.
Okay.
Yeah. What are your favorite musicals? Do you guys have any? No.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I saw.
I mean,
The Lion King.
I know the cool answer is Rent,
Is it though?
but
Is
it
it?
just didn't stick with me like it has with everyone else. You know what I mean?
There are moments, but after a while, you're also like, you guys are kind of a dick to Benny. He just wants you to pay rent in the building that he owns.
I know.
Which is a bummer when you get to that point in your life where you're like, I don't know. It is kind of shitty that you're doing this to your friend.
I've seen 3, but I'm not sure if this is what he's talking about. I've seen Lion King,
Mm-hmm.
Sweeney Todd. Is Book of Mormon a musical?
Yes.
I had the best time at Book of Mormon.
You
just
saw
'cause
that
it was
on
just my comment.
live on stage?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. when
Oh,
they came
I
out.
have one. Well, dude, I saw and I loved it because I saw it. I was in. This is going back. I think I was like in my teens, but it was. Oh my gosh. Ragtime.
Oh.
There was just something about it I loved.
Never heard
Ragtime's a
Yeah,
beautiful
it's based
show.
on a novel.
Yeah.
But I thought the musical version of it and the stage presentation was great.
I love Sweeney Todd. I love Company. All Stephen Sondheim stuff I think is amazing. I'm a sucker for Wicked. But the most fun I've had seeing a stage show is probably Spam-A-Lot. I saw that on Broadway.
See, here's my
That was
question.
great.
You guys just brought up 2 titles I've never heard before. Is there a bunch of musicals that played? And,
Well, and they're not
I
always
only know about the
musicals.
big ones, the big names. Is there like weekly
Maybe.
different different
No,
things?
not that often because a stage production takes a lot of
Okay.
logistics and time.
Well, and it's just something that's been going on, for
And money.
decades, and you'll get
Okay.
revivals of things. And it also kind of comes down to your own theater taste, your music taste too, because sometimes musicals just aren't for everyone. Logan's not a big musical guy.
So like okay, Pantages Theater, right?
Yeah.
Where I've seen most of the musicals. I've seen the 3 or whatever. Can we say most likely every week there's a musical book there? Is that how often these musicals are done? Like, can we say that like at a big like musical theater, there's something always booked there, even if it's a big name or a small name? Is it one of those?
Pantages usually has something going on,
yeah,
but
the
there
big
are
one. Yeah.
breaks in between to just get the staging up. and
Okay, so
everything.
it's not like
But
a
yeah.
movie theater.
No, it's not going to have that rapid release kind
Oh,
of feel
okay,
like we all
okay.
have, but you will have a show run for a while there, and then something else will come in its place.
I was just thinking because I would be down to watch it, even though I'm not a musical guy. On stage thing is a lot different from a movie musical, and I would love to go into one blindly, not knowing anything about it, just to see what it's. It's one of those things.
I will say one of the last, and this is because I haven't been to a stage performance in so long, and I love them, but the pandemic changed a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then when you get married and you have kids, it's like whatever. But I actually did on Broadway. The last time I was in New York, I saw Gods of Carnage, and at that time it was Jeff Daniels and James Gandolfini were the husbands.
Yeah.
And Marcia Gay Harden and Hope Davis were the wives, and it was so good.
That's an incredible cast.
Yeah, it was so good.
Oh, man. I go to the Center Theater Group stuff, the amzn, like once a month probably with my friend Mia. And we usually go see
And
shows.
just whatever's on, you'll just go.
Yeah, we went and
That's a great
saw
thing
shoot. What am I think? It's another Stephen Sondheim musical. Into the Woods. We saw that last month, and then on Sunday we're seeing Peter Pan Goes Wrong with Bradley Whitford in it, and I love him.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to like the Glendale Center or Century Theater?
No.
Obviously Glendale. It's theater in the round.
Oh,
And they don't always do musicals, but they do them as well. But it's a great theater in the round theater.
I thought you were going to say, when they do them, they do them with Dos Equis.
actually, I might have seen a show there. My friend was in a show there. I think maybe
It's a great like smaller theater, but
Okay.
I love theater in the round, so it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry we went off on a
Yay!
tangent on that.
Oh, thanks for that question.
All right, that will do it. Okay, go.
So next up we've got Albus. I would always stumble on this. Albus Dumbledore. Also, I feel I love how Blue Beetle and Vin Diesel have something in common. They're all about
I
family.
knew that before. Why we saw that. We saw that, right?
What?
We didn't even have to know. We saw that a mile away, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we saw that. We saw it. But,
I'm excited
okay,
to see that movie.
That's
I'm
true.
really pumped.
Let's see. We got Spencer who writes, "Hello everyone. With all the records Barbie has been breaking at the box office, its opening counterpart Oppenheimer has broken a box office. Yeah, we were just talking about this. Broke a box office record as well, becoming the highest domestic grossing movie to not reach number one at the box office, beating 2016 Sing, who held the record with 278. That handily broke it, but yeah." After opening against Rogue One.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe
So that's
there's
the
a
counter
little merit.
programming with Rogue One.
Yeah, that draft wind kind of situation we were talking about.
Yeah.
You know what? Great for both films.
But again,
You
it's
know,
pushed.
Just enjoy it.
It's pushing 700 million.
Yeah.
So
No, in this case where it's like Christopher Nolan, he's fine with his numbers right now. I bet you.
yeah, you're
you know
going
what I
off a
mean?
phenomenon. It's whatever.
Yeah.
The fact that many people are still showing up and it's still playing in IMAX, guys, come on.
The fact that you guys need to show up to Mutant Mayhem too.
Yeah, Mutant
You
Mayhem.
do.
That's the one you should be going to
I
see.
should
know.
go see that.
Yeah, at
It's
least for
delightful.
now. I mean, I could watch Mutant Mayhem 2 more times.
See it, and if you've already seen it, go see it in 4DX. It's so fun.
Oh yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
So now we have CJ Rebirth, who writes, Susan Sarandon is just a great actress. Aside from Blue Beetle, I also enjoyed her in movies like Thelma and Louise, Enchanted, Speed Racer. I never saw Speed Racer. Lonely Bones, and as Miss Spider in James and the Giant Peach.
Oh, she is in James and the
Yeah.
Giant Peach. Ah. Yeah, Susan Sarandon's amazing. I love her. Are there any standout performances for you guys from her?
No.
Such a quick response.
No. I agree. Thelma and Louise. I liked
Yeah.
her that. So
I mean, I have to think about that. Anything for you?
Rocky Horror.
Okay.
I love her in that.
Damn it, Janet.
She's so good in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you want to say Rocky Horror? Oh, Chris will take it back.
No,
if you
because when
want
she
to.
said it, I'm like, that's a great one. And that wasn't one I would have like necessarily like said, because I often don't think, my mind doesn't go to her. My mind goes to
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry,
Yeah.
obviously. Maybe a little Meatloaf. Okay, sometimes my mind goes to Meatloaf. But yeah, but you're right. All right, so up next we've got Zetnus, who writes, "Hey crew, with Ahsoka release coming up, who's your favorite Star Wars characters of all time?"
Oh. Gosh, that's tough. Oh, are you finding an action
I think I
figure
might
yet?
just be uncool and say Luke Skywalker.
Luke's great. Yeah, I was going to say, I really like Leia. Tertiary characters, like, I love the Max Rebo band.
I like
they're
full.
great.
I like full body Darth Maul.
You don't like
Full
when he's
body.
got spider limbs? Oh, Qui-Gon's really cool, too. I know the prequels get shit on, but man,
I like
Qui-Gon
Qui-Gon too,
Jinn.
especially. I'm gonna bring up Obi-Wan.
Maybe I like Obi-Wan more than Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That's Logan's theory about men aging, is that when you first see Star Wars, if you see it as a kid and everything, it's you identify with Luke, and that's who you're all about, and then you want to be Han Solo, and that's who you're all about, and then once you're like in your 30s, you're like, Obi-Wan's got it right.
You know, as a kid, or not even as a kid, honestly, probably even as a teen, it's like, oh, who do you like identify with more, Han Solo or Indiana Jones?
Oh,
And I definitely always landed with Indiana Jones.
yeah.
But that's, it's not really what he
Did he
asked,
give-
but I just
did
said
he-
it.
Wait,
I like-
did he give
no.
us his his answer?
No, he didn't.
No? I see it. Come on.
He didn't put himself
tell
out
us.
there.
Why don't you tell us about you too? Come on.
Yeah.
Jeez. Then we could critique you and say you're wrong.
Yeah, see, you just want to
That's
judge
what
us.
I want to do. You're wrong.
Well,
My favorite
talking
Star
about
Wars
how
character-
Opinions are subjective. We'll tell you you're wrong.
Yeah, my favorite Star Wars character is Indiana Jones. All right.
He's the best Star Wars character, honestly.
GK Alzabar writes, Happy Friday, crew. I saw Blue Beetle last night. Didn't love it, but myself and other 8 people in the theater had a pretty good time. That's what that was me and Ray. Like,
Yeah.
neither of us loved it, but
Hey.
we had fun.
You know what the 8 is shaped like? It's kind of shaped like a bug, right? Like the body of a... No, that didn't work at all.
I love that you were trying to conspiracy theory this moment, though, of like, oh, they are the scarab. It's okay, right?
Because it's like a 0, and I was thinking of an ant.
It can't all be fried gold, buddy.
Go ahead.
okay.
Just move on.
All right, well, Amin writes, Harloff did an Ahsoka review and he really enjoyed it. Said people who haven't seen Rebels Clone Wars won't be lost, which is great. And you literally just said, which is great. Wow, we're in tune, Amin. That tripped me out. Super important for people like...
wrote it in.
Because I said, which is great, and his next words were, which is great. I'm like, did I read that or did I say it? Super important for people like my mom who are just into movies and Disney Plus stuff. Can't wait. Glad it's a 2-episode premiere.
That's wonderful. I'm glad it's accessible for everyone, too. And I hope then that means that if you've watched the shows, then you get those little like Easter egg nugget kind of moments.
And I mean, Harloff is a super Star Wars guy, so that's
yeah,
great news.
that's very true.
All right. Next up, we got It's the Bat. In high school, I took a film studies class for an easy A. Come on. One of my favorite movies was American Graffiti. And Regal will be screening it in about a week for its 50th anniversary. I saw that. Are you guys fans of this movie? P.S. I got a B. All right, not bad. See, it was harder than you
Oh,
thought.
no, not the easy A you hoped for.
Yeah.
Bummer.
I actually did see that it's playing at the re-release lately. There's been so many movies coming out, like They Live and whatever for different anniversaries. I love it. Enter the Dragon just came out, but I couldn't get tickets. But I love American Graffiti. What about you?
I've never seen it.
I've never seen it. So explain.
It's Harrison
sell it to
Ford's
me and Chris.
debut.
Yeah.
Sell it to me and Chris. What is it about?
It's about the end of a golden age of. It's the 1960s, so it's the end of like the 50s and 60s, like cruising scene and the old cars and like. What are you talking about? As a teen and being out late on a Friday night, you know what I mean, and getting into like mayhem and adventures and being young and
You said mayhem. I'm in.
yeah, mutant. They all become mutants too.
No.
It's got
I
a
love
very
people like
young Ron Howard.
Baby Ron Howard.
Obviously, it's Harrison
baby, but
Ford's
you know.
debut. I can't think of her name now. The actress from Laverne and Shirley was in it. She plays Ron Howard's love interest. And then I mean.
Obviously, the
Cindy
professor
Williams.
thought it was a film that he should watch. So, is it one of those films that you would rank as if
it's-
you're a film study,
It's
you need to watch
It's
this
a
film?
George Lucas film.
Okay.
And I would say, yeah, if you're serious, you need to see American Graffiti. I'm not saying it's like the greatest movie of all time or anything, but it's one of those where if you're serious about studying film, that's in the line of many films you should be watching, and it's fun. It's
I need to
really
watch
fun.
that one.
Okay.
What's his name? Why can't I think of it? From Stand By Me, he's the older version. He's in Jaws. Why am I drawing a blank? He's the doctor in Jaws.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, why would I be blanking?
We'll
on-
get that for you.
Yeah,
Jonathan.
we'll
We
get
can
the
move on
name,
to-
but
yeah,
he's in it as well.
You
Okay,
look
I'll
it
get
up.
that.
Patrick Reese writes, I listened to a hypothetical debate about whether we should be able to remove bad memories or not. It reminded me of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Are there any sci-fi or fantasy movies with tech or concepts that you could see coming in the next 10 to 15 years?
Ooh.
Ooh.
It's here now, I think. It's coming now pretty soon.
Yeah.
Everything that I thought about is happening right now. One thing was the computer talks back to you and
Right?
and gives you answers. We're there now. So I can't.
Richard Dreyfuss, my
Richard
God.
Dreyfuss.
Oh, I feel so dumb.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, even going back to like, what was this is going back a little bit, but the Tom Cruise movie where they could predict crimes before they
crimes, yeah.
happen. Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if he's asking, like, are there movies that are, like, we could see these things happening now, but...
Yeah, no, things that sci or like whatever movies, tech or whatever, that you think is gonna be coming soon. Like I mean,
Currently, we're dealing with AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. But I think, the funny thing with AI is we've come to realize AI is nothing but a big copycat. It's not that it comes up, it's so intelligent that it comes up with original thought. it
plagiarism
scours, it adapts.
Yeah.
That's all it does.
The scary thing that I seen recently was the one, and I don't remember the movie or show. It was, we're getting close, I feel, and I think it's gonna be scary of the robots that make the decision whether to shoot or to not shoot the police.
Ooh.
You know, because I think we're testing the dogs now, right? I think they're testing those with the camera. Or
Oh,
whatever.
where they patrol parks and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
They're like they have cameras, so it's like observe and report.
Right.
Dogs.
Yeah.
It's like we're getting so close to that.
It does become a
It's
bit
gonna be-
Big Brother-ish, though, but
because like we're leaving the decision of the situation to
yeah.
something that can't feel anything, right? So I mean, it's one of those things where it's scary. It's one of those things we'll burn that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
But
As
it's one
bad
of
as
those
it was,
things
it's a bit like Chappie.
yeah.
As much
It is
as
like
much as
Chappie.
I
Oh my
loathe
God.
having to say that right this
I wanted that
moment.
movie to be good. I can tell you too that I'm mad we don't have. All right, why are we not traveling by a pneumatic tube like the Jetsons showed me? And why can't I phase places like Star Trek?
Yeah.
Why can't I just beam in?
I still don't want to beam because apparently isn't it technically it's not actually you, it like reassembles you,
It
so it's a
reassembles you.
version of you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so you
Oh,
left
was
your
it-
original self behind.
Yeah.
And wasn't Back to the Future the one that had you put the small pizza in the microwave?
Yeah,
The
Oh,
boom.
that is you.
What-
Yeah.
that shit?
That's another
what
one.
I want.
That's another
yeah, they
one.
pull down the fruit
I would have so
platter.
much room in my fridge.
But like, let me just get from A to B in a pneumatic,
pneumatic
tube without
tubes,
killing
though,
me.
yeah, man.
Without Augustus glooping me or something, you know?
Or even just, speed trains like they have
Yeah,
in other
to Vegas.
countries.
Yes. Yeah, I don't like how long travel takes. I
Wow.
want
so
that
thi-
fixed.
This one's for you. It's
Oh.
Adrenaline Knight who writes, "Hey Chris, how do we get to know voice actors by face?
Yeah.
IMDb, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, conventions, IMDb, that sort of thing. Why do you want to know them by face? Do you mean like, do you want to see them in live action?
Just
things?
know what they look like.
Just want to know what they
and-
look like. Get
yeah.
to know them.
Yeah.
Most folks have social media, so you can follow them and then follow their careers on there. Bob Bergen, for example, has a wonderful, wonderful account on Instagram. He's the voice of Porky Pig and so many other iconic voices. Gives really great voiceover advice as well, and he gives lots of wonderful insight into what's going on with the strike. So he's a great follow. You can follow a lot of other voice actors like Steve Bloom of Cowboy Bebop fame and so many other things. Tara Strong has a wonderful presence online. Yeah, just whatever actors you like, just, go follow them on social and be sweet. Don't be creepy. You won't be,
Yeah,
though.
exactly. And I don't think he had bad intentions. I think he just meant like.
Yeah.
Callum writes, "Hey team, do you have a favorite How I Met Your Mother episode? Mine is the Blitzgiving episode. Did you ever watch?
I did watch it,
Uh-huh.
and I really enjoyed that show until the final season, and then I was real mad about everything.
Yeah, it was a little weird. It's like, sorry, your mom died, but I'll marry the old truck.
Yeah, this story is about someone
But I
else.
loved the show at first.
Yeah.
I would say any episode that incorporated the slap, and it's a giving,
I
the
was gonna say
slaps-giving slap.
Slapsgiving, yeah.
Because you never knew when it was coming, and it would stretch like into other seasons,
Yeah.
and it was just the countdown of how many slaps are left.
I loved the slaps.
Yeah.
The
So that was our
doppelganger stuff
ongoing
was fun
through
too.
line?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Slapsgiving, yeah,
Oh
with
my
Barney.
God.
Anytime he
Slap at any point.
Jason Segel would slap, Barney,
Barney.
but I can't think of
Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil Patrick, and yeah, NPH.
Okay.
He had a limited amount of slaps through the year, and it was so well done. Oh, loved it.
All right. Shay writes, Blue Beetle was a cute movie. I'd say the same. That mid-credit scene got me super excited. I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you. That's the song I was thinking of. If this movie would have ended up going to streaming, this would have been a really high-quality streaming movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm glad it didn't. And they're learning lessons to like. Now I don't think. And here's the problem. It's probably not going to make a lot of money, so it almost seems like this is a moot point.
Oh.
But they still need to learn that they need to put these things out theatrically before bringing them to streaming. So
Yeah.
I still agree with that.
model
I guess we
works.
have time for like maybe two more.
Okay.
All right. So CJ writes, Blue Beetle was awesome. My favorite DC movie now of this year. It got laughs and an awesome cast. Sholo, George, Bruna, and I nearly cried a few times being Hispanic myself. The Latin representation, love of family, of family this movie had was perfect. Can't wait for more of these characters in the DCU, and that's what I'm really interested in, the Hispanic take on this film.
Yeah. I'm
So-
excited to see that because obviously I can't speak to how the Hispanic community is going to receive anything, but that was my hope, was that this was going to be a really wonderful tentpole film that people felt seen in.
Yeah, Filipinos are really close to the Spanish culture, And I felt it there. It was running throughout the whole movie, and I'm glad it did, because I think there's, with every superhero, there has to be some sort of, you have to relate to that person in order to care about this character.
Yeah.
I believe it'll work that way with some people who watch it, which is great.
That's cool.
All right, and our last one is for Chris. It's from Tochi Victor writes, Chris, do you think the AMPTP is finally willing to make a deal with actors or writers? Bring on the filthy.
Oh, bring on the finances is what that's going to mean for a while. All right. You know, I am hoping that we are nearing a deal. We were just talking about this actually on the break, too, about how the writers are going back to meet with the AMPTP to hopefully come up with some terms that people can agree on. I do believe in my heart of hearts that we are going to find something that works for everyone within the next few months. My husband and I were actually talking about this recently, and he was much more pessimistic about it than me. But the AMPTP actually making some strides with the WGA has made me much more optimistic, because let's be clear, at the beginning of this, no matter which side of this you stand on, right? Because I know sometimes John does, devil's advocate for the MPTP and everything, and everyone's going to have their own opinions about stuff. But at the beginning of these negotiations, they weren't negotiations. It was a flat no.
Yeah.
It was a no to the writers' demands. To so many of the asks from SAG-AFTRA, the demands of SAG-AFTRA, it was no's or things that just were not okay. We've talked about this so much. You cannot use an old contract on a new business model and expect that to work. You just can't. We covered this with the Nun story. Transparency is really the biggest thing here, of just getting that. Let us know your numbers. Let us know those facts and figures, so we all can be doing the work that we love doing, but we also get compensated fairly. Because in any business, whatever business you are a part of, if your employer makes 300% more than you, that's not fair and reasonable. That's not, especially if the success of that business is because of you and your endeavors. So I'm hoping that because of the media around this, because of the solidarity between the writers and the actors right now, that the WGA gets a great deal that is worthy of them, because these writers are the absolute backbone of all of this work. You cannot tell great stories without a great story. You can't have amazing characters without them being put on the page. So I'm hoping that within the next few weeks we get some really good momentum here. I'm also trying to be cautiously optimistic with my own savings. I'm super fortunate, though. I do have to just say, like, because I work in voiceover, I'm very fortunate, and I got a commercial renewed recently. Y'all gonna hear me in Australia and New Zealand. What's up? And I've done some of what a lot of actors think is kind of less sexy acting work, with like industrials, where I do corporate videos and things like that are still part of the union. So there's still other work for actors out there, but the work that you guys get to see, the work that you guys get to participate in, and that's TV and movies, video games too, but TV and movies are what we're striking against right now. Just keep talking about how great these stories are, how much you love them, and that way you can show your support for those writers. If the strike doesn't end quickly too, you still also have ways to support them. The entertainment fund is great. You can get some sweet merch, wear a t-shirt to represent how much you support these writers, how much you support these actors. Let other people know what's going on by wearing that shirt. But yeah, hopefully they figure something out within the next few weeks, just so people can go back to work, because those writers have been without work that qualifies them for health insurance for over 100 days. And that becomes a life or death situation. If you can't get medical care, that can be really scary. And that's why no one wants to not work. They just want to work fairly. That was a long-winded answer, but hope that works.
That was our finale. So
okay. Well, that'll do it then, guys, for this edition of the John Campea Show. Thanks for tuning in with us on this Friday. Make sure you stick around, hit that bell if you're on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed in all of your podcast forums so that you can be around for when we're doing our open mic, because we're doing that later this afternoon. Just the three of us.
Yeah.
Batman Beyond-ish. And it's going to be fun. We're going to talk about Blue Beetle. That'll be later this afternoon. Shameless plug real quick, too. If you're free tomorrow, August 19th, I am doing a Intro to VO boot camp at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can go follow me on social, and you get the links to that, and we'll talk about VO and how you can get started in it. It's pretty fun. I want to thank all the people in the room. Ray, Aura.
I have a plug, too. Tomorrow I'll be eating a lot. Turtle power, baby.
Woo! And Jonathan Boyko.
That's it.
I don't know if I'll be eating a lot. Maybe I will be. Probably doing chores. But hey, see you guys.
I think it depends on how much of that coffee was coffee to see how much you're eating tomorrow. I've been Chris Card. Thanks so much for watching. And until next time, Bye, y'all.